Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's finally getting to that time of year where I can wear a sweater, the leaves are changing, it's actually getting cold out, and it is fall. It's kind of been fall for a while, but like now it really feels like fall, and now I'm finally starting to read some fall, cozy, witchy, dark academia books. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. These are my fall book recommendations. A lot of them have similar themes of, like I said before, dark academia, witches, and like tarot stuff, and just overall fall vibes when you're reading them. And I really enjoyed a lot of these, so I think you will too. Let's get into it, I guess. Starting off, the first book is The Fortune Seller by Karen Kapelecki Dale. I don't know how to read authors' last names a lot of the time, so bear with me. But this one I'm actually reading right now. Like, not quite done with it yet, so I can't tell you if the ending is any good, but I'm really enjoying it so far. It has tarot, it has Yale, it has female friendships, horses, New York City. If you like any of these things, you will enjoy this book. I used to ride horses when I was younger, so I kind of really liked getting into like the whole equestrian thing. It's about this girl, Rosie, who is at Yale and she's on the equestrian team there. She has three best friends and they're all moving into this house to live in for their senior year at Yale. She gets to the house and realizes that there is a new girl who has infiltrated the friend group. Her name is Annalise, and she's also a really good rider. She is a really skilled tarot card reader, which is something that Rosie finds really interesting, and I guess is like how she kind of got involved in the friend group at all, because she read their tarot cards and always said nice things. Anyways, so Rosie moves into the house and she's there and she finds out that they're sharing a room together. So she kind of has to befriend this girl. I love seeing their like friendship kind of blossom throughout the book, and they really relate because they both come from more of like lower class, middle class families, while their friends come from really stupid rich families. So they kind of connect on that and kind of see each other eye to eye, and Rosie starts learning tarot from her and they have this really good connection. There ends up being some drama within the friend group, and they all kind of turn against each other. And then the second part of the book, we see Rosie living in New York, and she's kind of like looking back and trying to understand what really happened. I don't want to spoil too much, but some crazy shit happens. I just think it was really well written. I really liked how each chapter starts with a tarot card and like what it means for the character, and it's like Annalise explaining to Rosie what the card means. And so I'm kind of like learning a little bit more about tarot, and I just think it was really fun. And like female friendships, horses, that like Yale fall vibe. A lot of these books like take place at some sort of like elite school, you will see, and I guess that's kind of fall vibes for me. But anyways, highly recommend this one. Next is Sleepwalking by Meg Wolitzer. I also love this color. It kind of like matches my background right now. This is actually her first book. I think she wrote it when she was in college. The book is about a girl who's in college, and it kind of gives the vibe that she was kind of putting a lot of herself into this character. It's about these three girls in college who form this group, and they call themselves the Death Girls because they're all obsessed with a famous dead poet. So it's Sylvia Plath, Anne Sexton, and Lucy Asher is the third, who is a fictional person that the main character is obsessed with. And they're also just like kind of emo and like wear all black, and they just have this certain like vibe around them, and people on campus kind of like all know them because they have this very specific vibe. They spend their nights doing rituals of sorts where they will sit in a dark room with candles and just like read poetry of each other's like favorite poets, and kind of like, I don't know, they treat it as kind of like a religious thing almost. Like they feel so spiritually connected to these people. The main character, her name is Claire. She meets a guy that kind of puts the whole perspective of the obsession into a different light for her, and she kind of starts seeing it differently, and she ends up going a little crazy. And she's kind of just like trying to figure out who she really is and like what she wants to do. And she ends up finding the poet she's obsessed with, her mother, and going to her house and like kind of just trying to get more in the head of this poet, to see if it'll help her learn more about herself because she relates to her so much. I really, really like this book. I love the obsessiveness of it all, and her whole identity is like one thing, which I think is low-key relatable, not gonna lie. And she kind of like thinks it's her whole identity, and then one day she just realizes, wait, like this is not me, like I'm my own person, but like where do you go from there? I really liked this, and I haven't read anything else by Meg Wolitzer, but I want to. I think this is a good place to start. Super good and very fall vibes, and I love the cover, like so cute. Okay, next, very obvious, but I just had to include it because it is one of my favorite books, and it is like the peak fall book in my opinion, and that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt, if you haven't already guessed. And if you haven't read this yourself, honestly, like this is your sign, like read this right now. It is so good, so well written, so well done. The vibes, so good. If you don't know what this is about, it is about the main character Richard, who is transferring to this elite school in New England, another like fall college elite school vibe, which you'll notice is a theme. And he meets a group of people in his classics class. It's like the only people in the class, it's like 6 people, and he kind of gets involved in their friend group, and their professor is kind of like weird and inspires them to think differently about things and gives them these really interesting ideas about certain things. It's like, I don't want to give too much away, but the first chapter states that Bunny dies. Bunny is one of the like main people in this friend group. So we know that Bunny dies, and we're basically reading through the book trying to figure out what happens. And you'll find out that the characters don't really know what happened either. So it's really interesting. I feel like all the characters are really well thought out, and like they all feel so real. And I really love all the characters. They're also weird and like have these like weird things about them that are revealed, and just some crazy shit happens. It's got some mystery to it. It has all the vibes. It is so well written. I really, really, really recommend this book. It is so good, and like you have to read it in fall. Read this right now. Okay, to switch things up a little bit, I have a short story collection, and that is Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado. I think it's Machado or Machado. I don't know, but this is the book. This is a short story collection, and they're all kind of like spooky, like there's a little bit of sci-fi, like fantasy in there. If you need some just like quick short stories, this one is really good. She also, I do have her other book with me, In the Dream House. This one is her memoir, and it's really, really good. She has a really unique way of writing in both of these, honestly, but this one especially. It's not like quite written in chronological order. There's pages that you get to, and like it says like go back to this page or skip forward to this page, and it's just like written in a really interesting, unique way that I really enjoyed, especially for a memoir. And it is spooky because there's some scary things that happen in her life. It's about an abusive relationship that she was in, and kind of like the trauma of it and how it affected her in the moment and afterwards. It's really interesting, and I think it's great for the fall time as well as this one. So package deal with these two. This next one is Foster Dade Explores the Cosmos by Nash Jenkins. I love this book, and I feel like it is so underrated. I don't see anyone talking about it, but you should read it. It's similar to The Secret History and like those types of books where there's a school and there's drama, and you're watching the drama unfold and like finding out the truth of what really happened as you're reading it. I really like those for fall, I guess. But this is ultimately about a scandal at an elite New Jersey boarding school. So this one's like high school, not college, which I think is interesting that the kids are younger, and it's a completely different like perspective than you would get from like The Secret History when they're like literally adults. But the story follows the new transfer student, Foster, who is he's like coming into the school, I think in like the sophomore year, because everyone already knows each other, and he's trying to like get to know people when they already know each other. just navigating the complicated social life of this boarding school. And he's really quickly drawn into the like popular group with all the charismatic rich students, honestly. And he kind of just becomes entangled in the drama of their lives and quickly finds himself in the center of basically the whole school's social scene. Like, he goes from being like nobody to everyone kind of knows him. But 18 months later, he is expelled under mysterious circumstances we don't really know. And basically the narrator, who is now living in the room that Foster once lived in, is trying to uncover what happened. So we never get Foster's true perspective in the book. The narrator is like finding things from his blog. That's where we get Foster's perspective, is his blog. He's looking at his like old playlists, and he finds text messages, like all these things to really piece together the story of what happened. And we get like interviews with the classmates, stuff like that. I don't want to give away too much about what happened because I think it's more fun to go in blind, but I really, really loved like the early 2010s vibes of this book. I think it takes place in 2008, but like still like early 2000s vibes. They're listening to like Vampire Weekend and they have Blackberries. Like, I just I love the vibe of it, and it's just another like rich kid life falling apart classic story, and I think it's really good. And I really, really liked the writing. I think the story was told very well, and it was really interesting, and I highly recommend, especially if you like the secret history and stuff and you want like a good like academia book for the fall. Next I have a fantasy, Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Again, I don't really know how to say her name 1000%, but I also love the cover of this one. Like, this is so cool with the snake. So if you're wanting fantasy for the fall, I think this one is really good. It also has some like horror aspects to it. This was one of the first like true fantasy books I read when I was like trying to get into it. So I feel like it is a good one. If you don't read a lot of fantasy, I think you would still probably like it. This also takes place at an elite East Coast school, Yale. Kind of the same dark academia vibes that we know and love for the fall. And it focuses on the main character, Alex, who is kind of coming from a bad situation. She lived in California with her mom and had dropped out of high school and was involved with like some shady drug dealers. She ended up being the sole survivor of a multiple homicide. Crazy shit. And when she's in the hospital, there is a man who's offering her the chance to study at Yale and kind of like turn her life around, and she has no idea why she's getting this opportunity. So she goes to Yale and she is involved in some secret societies. And again, I don't want to give away too much of the plot, but kind of about her searching for answers about why she was sent to Yale and what her responsibility is there. And she has these special abilities that she's trying to figure out. There's a little bit of horror, there's magic, there's ghosts. It's very fall, Yale academia vibes. I think it's pretty good. I have not read the second one, so I can't tell you what that one's like, but if you have, tell me if it's good, please. Okay, next I have a nonfiction. If you like nonfiction, or if you just want to switch it up sometimes, which I do, it is The Witching Year by Diana Helmuth. Who knows? It's an arc. It's out, but this is a memoir, and it's about a woman who she's kind of like been skeptical of organized religion and is trying to find some other sort of spirituality thing to get into, and she turns to witchcraft, or like modern day witchcraft, and she takes a full 366 days to commit to trying stuff every day and basically just practicing witchcraft every day. So we see her try different like spells, tarot cards, crystals, that type of stuff, and she writes about her observations, about what happened, how it made her feel, and how it affects her life. It's really interesting. Perfect for fall. If you're into witchy stuff already, or if you're wanting to get into it, I think this is a really good book to kind of learn more about what it really means, or if you're just curious about it. Obviously, like, witches have the whole fall season reserved, so it just fits. But I thought it was really well written and thought out, and I found it really interesting. I highly recommend this. Okay, next is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This is very similar to The Secret History. It's kind of like The Secret History's little cousin. The characters are obsessed with Shakespeare and theater, but it's a very similar vibe. It's college kids at a East Coast college, and it focuses on this group of friends, and they're putting on a Shakespeare play, obviously, and there is a murder, of course, and they have to lie to everyone in the police about what happened, and we're trying to figure out what happened as well. Good fall vibes, good suspense and mystery in it, and the characters are pretty interesting as well, and this one's just really fun. And if you liked The Secret History, I definitely would recommend this one next. Okay, lastly, I have one more witchy book for you to read in fall. It is What We Sacrifice for Magic by Andrea Jo Deward. This takes place in 1968, and it centers around a family of witches, and they have this business where they basically sell spells to the people in their small town. Like farmers, they give them water spells to help their crops grow. They give people love spells, healing spells, stuff like that. It focuses on the eldest daughter, Elizabeth. She just graduated high school, and she's basically trying to figure out what she really wants for her life, because it's expected of her to continue the family business, marry her high school sweetheart, and just like settle down in this small town, but she's not really sure if that's what she wants. She learns of a family secret, and she's trying to uncover what that means for her and the family, and it kind of just gives her more questions than answers. It was really fun. I wasn't a huge fan of the writing style. Definitely wasn't like anything too intellectual or anything, but it's still a lot of fun, and you don't have to think very hard when you're reading it, which is good. But yeah, it's just a family of witches, girl coming of age, good story, family drama. But yeah, that was my last recommendation. I hope you're interested in reading some of these books now. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Comment down below if you have any other recommendations for me, or if you read any of these and your thoughts on them. And thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!